Hi, welcome back, friends. It is Monday morning, so I've got some pulling and packing to do, and we're going to show you what sold this weekend. Not a great weekend. This is probably the worst weekend I've had this year, but that's okay because it'll turn around. It always does. So I'm going to take you along this time. Alrighty, so the first thing I have are these Avon perfume powders. So I got these several weeks ago, but I didn't get around to listing them until actually just last week. So these sold fast. They sold for $16.50 on eBay. I only paid $1 for the pair of them. So, and as you saw, there's some body cream down there too. Same scent. I'm hoping that it'll sell fast also. We'll see. Next up, I have a compact over here. Here it is, right here. Beautiful mirrored compact. This sold very quickly. I listed it the same day as I listed the powder. So it was about a week to sell, and I sold it for $22.50 on eBay. I did pay up a little bit for this. I paid $6 for this because I was pretty sure I would be able to sell it quickly. It's got that enamel finish, kind of almost a cloisonne, but it's not. Yeah. I'll pay up if I think I'm going to sell it quickly. So, and I did. Next up over here, I have these lampshades right here. And let me tell you about these lampshades. So these lampshades I sold several months ago very quickly for like $45. And I was so happy to get $45 for these. And I packed them up and I put them out for our postman to pick them up. And I went out later that morning before he'd been here to pick up, and there were 2 boxes in my yard. We have a dog, newer dog to the family, that had pulled the boxes out of the area that they get picked up in and had chewed it open and was chewing on one of these lampshades. So I let the person know that they'd been damaged. I said I could probably fix it. She didn't want them anymore. And then they have been sitting around for months because I needed to fix them. It really wasn't that bad. There were some tears in this netting. Let's see if I can find one of them. There was only a couple spots, and I was able to fix it pretty easily. Where is it? See, I can't even find it now. There's a little teeny tiny hole right there. And I disclosed the issues with these when I relisted them. It's pretty good problem. Okay, here. All right, so there was a tear right along there. But I was able to just put it back together, and look at that. It still presents pretty well. So I didn't try to sell these for as much as I got the first time since they had been damaged and repaired, but I did still get $35 for them very quickly. They sold in 2 days again. So keep an eye out on these. I paid less than $3 for these, found them at the bins, Goodwill Outlet, and definitely probably a bolo, because both times I listed them, they sold high and they sold fast. Next up is this pair of curtain rods. So these are extendable, vintage, old Art Nouveau style curtain rods that I only paid $4 for at an estate sale. Don't pass up this kind of stuff. Look it up. I don't even have to look it up very much anymore if the price is right. But interesting note on these. So I had a person on Facebook Marketplace that wanted them and wanted to know if I would ship them. Well, I use Facebook Marketplace shipping, but some people don't like to buy through Facebook Marketplace shipping, and they just want to pay me directly and have me ship it to them. I'm like, sure, of course, I can do that. So I had these listed for $40 online, and he wanted to know how much for shipping. I said, how about $12? Because these are not that heavy. These are actually going to be less than a pound to ship. And I sent him my information on how to pay me, and he sent me $60 and said, thanks so much for shipping, and have a coffee or a treat on him. So instead of $52 with shipping, I get $60 with shipping. So providing good customer service sometimes and being flexible not always helps the customer, which is great, but sometimes it's a benefit to us too. I'm happy. All right, next up is this cane back here. So this cane actually comes apart in the middle. It unscrews. So this will make it a lot easier to ship because it won't be so long, which I like. Also, I'm selling this for $30. I did have it listed for $35. Another Facebook Marketplace person made an offer on it, but she doesn't live close. She was debating about whether to come and get it or not. Ultimately decided she did not want to make the drive, wanted me to ship it, didn't want to pay for it through Facebook, didn't want to use a credit card, didn't want to use Venmo, she didn't want to use PayPal. And I'm like, what do you want, lady? What do you want me to do? And she's like, will you take a check? Do you know how long it's been since I've accepted a check as payment for something? However, when sales are slow, like they were this weekend, and I'm trying to bring more money in and keep things rolling and keep things moving, I'm more apt to do weird things like that. So I said yes. I said, yes, you can send me a check, but I will not ship the cane until the check clears. She's like, oh yeah, that's fine, no problem at all. So I sold this, but I'm not shipping it yet. We're gonna wait for that check to clear. But would you have done that? Is that too much trouble? Do you want your money now? You don't want to jump through extra hoops for your buyers? I don't know. I think we're in the business to make money. And I have a feeling she's elderly. She wants this cane. She wanted a nice looking cane for herself. Doesn't know how to use all of the technology that's available. So I'm going to accommodate her. It's not a big deal for me to just sit and make sure that check clears before I send it, if she's okay with it. All right, I'm actually a clothing seller again today, and I had some jeans that sold. Yep, these right here. So I didn't have any clothing last week, but today I can call myself a clothing seller again. All right, you guys, I tell you, I'm not a clothing seller, and that's because I just don't know clothes very well. I don't know good brands. I don't know what's trending. I don't know what's selling well, and I don't want to sit there and look up every single clothing item. I know I look up other things and lots of other things, but for some reason, I just can't get into the clothing. And I found these jeans and a whole bunch of other jeans at a family-run estate sale. They had a couple big boxes of them. These looked pretty cool. These looked kind of Y2K to me, but I don't know. So I thought, well, I'll see how much they want for the jeans before I decide whether I want to look through these boxes or whatever. They only wanted $2 for each pair of jeans. So I'd been there for a while. I went ahead and picked out 5 pairs of jeans. Pretty good ones. One I sold right away for $50. The rest of them I've listed. I have sold, I think, one other pair. I think I still have 3 to go. This was one of the 3 to go. Sold these for $20. I took an offer of 20, had them listed for 25. Sold these on Poshmark. I'm thrilled to sell them. Happy to be a clothing seller today, but I wish I had gone back and looked through those boxes more. In fact, the pair that I sold for $50, I sold because I went home and I did a reel about all the jeans I'd picked up that day. And somebody saw my reel and saw one of the pair of jeans, and they wanted that pair of jeans and offered me $50 for them. Now, I might have been able to get $100 for those jeans if I'd held out and listed them and done all that, but I'd paid $2 for them. So I'm like, you know what? Let somebody else make some money too. I'm making $48. I can deal with that. And so I sold them. And then I thought, oh, I wish I would have looked through those boxes better. I wonder what I left behind. I wonder what's still there. And so we went back the next morning because it was a 2-day sale. We went back the next morning. They were all gone. The lady said somebody had come by and just asked how much for all of them. I didn't even ask how much. She sold them all to him. I didn't want to know. But I am learning more about clothes by selling some of them. Maybe one day I will be more of a clothing seller. All right, I thought we would talk today a little bit about what to do with all your inventory that sits around for too long. I have over 900 things listed now. Some of it's been here too long. And we purged at the end of the year, and this is May. We purged at the end of December and got rid of probably close to 200 items. But when is the time? What do you do when things get old and stale and have been sitting around too long? And what is too long? Probably varies per person. Might vary depending upon how much space you have to store your stuff in, what your comfort level is. But what do you do when things are not selling? Like this weekend, I've had not great sales. There's a lot of things that people suggest that you do. I'm not that great about doing these things because I'm focused more on getting new listings out. I often don't take the time then to examine what's out there, but a lot of people say you should delist and relist your listings so that it refreshes them and they look new again. And I agree that that's probably a good thing to do. It just takes time. And so I've been focusing my time on putting out new listings rather than revamping old listings. But with the cross-listing software I use with Vendoo, they do have a delist relist feature that makes it pretty simple. So I would recommend, before you get rid of and declutter and just before you throw it away, try some of these steps. So delisting and relisting is a good way to refresh your closet. You don't even have to lower your price, but lowering your price is another alternative. Or putting your things on sale, or running a coupon on eBay. Send offers. How often are you sending offers? I probably don't send offers as much as I should either. Again, because I'm focusing my time on putting new things up for sale. But all these things can stimulate movement and sales and are probably good ideas. And I should probably be doing more of it. But there also comes a time when I'm tired of seeing all this stuff that's been here forever. Some of it's definitely been here longer than others. Generally, I don't like to donate anything unless I've had it listed for at least a year. So those things that have been around for over a year, if I've delisted and relisted them, if I've sent offers, if I've marked them down or had coupons and they're still here, for me, it's time for them to go. So it might be time for us to go through our inventory again. It's the middle of May. It's been almost 6 months since we did a decluttering of our inventory. But I'm just wondering what you guys think. How long do you sit on things? Now, clothing and jewelry, all my jewelry, I'll sit on my jewelry for a really long time because jewelry is slower to move, and it's also tiny and it doesn't take up much space. So I do think it depends on what you're selling. But what do you guys do? How long do you sit on things? I hear some people say that they sell things that have been listed for 3 or 4 years. Do I have anything that's been listed for 3 or 4 years? Let me look around. I don't think I have anything that's quite that old. I know I have a few things that are probably well over a year old that I decided I didn't want to give up on when we were purging in December, that I might have to decide to get rid of now. It's been another 6 months. But anyway, that's me. And that's how we're comfortable operating. Still would love to hear what you guys are doing, and how often are you guys delisting and relisting or refreshing your stores? How often do you send offers? Oh, and do you send offers right away? Like if you've put something out today and somebody starts watching it or likes it, do you send an offer right away? See, I don't. I'm gonna give it a chance at full price before I start sending offers. So I don't usually send offers till something's been out there for at least 30 days. Again, that's me and that's where I'm at. Different things work for different people, and I'm totally okay with that. I think we all need to do what works for us. What works for you? All right, what else? What's next on the list? Where did they go? Oh, here they are. There it is. This little Nash car emblem. This is not in perfect condition, but I have a friend who saw me do a reel on Instagram. I've sold a few things doing reels. Saw a reel I did on Instagram with this and knows somebody by the name of Nash and thought it would be a fun thing to give as a gift. So this is a friend. I'm gonna make her a deal. I like to bless others. I like to bless my friends. I still want to make money. I don't want to lose money. So I'm giving her this for less than half of what I was asking, but because I paid so little for it, I'm still gonna make some money. And I think that that's a fair deal for me to make a little and to give my friend a great deal too. So if you want to see, go look at my reels on Instagram. But I got this in an aluminum tote that was full of, well, it had a few of these car emblems in it and some other architectural salvage pieces, and I paid $10 for all of it. So technically I'm making all my money back just on this one thing. Thanks, friend. All right, I didn't take you long to get this one because I had to go unbury it because this has been listed for a long time. This has been listed for like 15 months, so almost a year and a half. This was one of those things I didn't want to give up on because it is pretty cool. This is a nail keg barrel. Obviously, it's pretty rustic. I had it listed over, I think, for $50. Maybe more than, no, I think it was around $50. And I've sent out some offers and I've relisted it. I just didn't want to give up on it because I knew if I came down low enough in price, I would probably eventually sell it. And maybe I was just being a little greedy. I probably have $2 into this. We went to a sale that they were giving most things away. It was advertised as a free sale, but there were some things they didn't really want to give away. So we just calculated, I don't even remember how much we paid. Like I said, this was so long ago, but we had a huge pile in her yard and she just said, how about $40 for all of it? I'm like, yeah, that's terrific. Whatever that number was, it was a great deal. And so then we just kind of distributed that cost among everything we bought that day. So we probably have a couple bucks in this. And I sold it finally on Mercari for $54, free shipping. Now this might cost $25 to ship, but that still leaves me at least $25 for the sales price. And if I only have $2 into it, less my fees, I'm not going to make as much as I originally had hoped I would make, but come on. It's still a great return on my investment. And I probably should have lowered my price a long time ago. All right, my last thing are some clear votive cups, and they're in a tub way up here that I need to get down. So I'm going to do that while I'm not holding the camera. So I have a lot of them, and I've sold a ton of them. And I really hadn't messed with these kinds of things before. I see them often. I just have never really paid that much attention to them. But I found 2 big boxes of them for sale at it was like a church sale, but it wasn't a church. It was a fundraiser sale for an old museum in a small town. There was so much stuff there. There were so many people there. But they only wanted $8 for both boxes. I mean, I have less than a quarter a piece in these. I think I might have 12 cents a piece in these. They were so cheap because I had got so many of them. Could be less than that. I don't even know. There were so many. But the clear glass ones have not moved as fast as the colored ones. But it's still, I sold these 3 clear glass votives on Etsy for $17.50. To pay $5 to ship. That gives me $22.50. These will probably cost $10 to ship. Probably $10 to ship. So that gives me around $12 before fees. And like I said, I've got hardly any money in these, so might be something to keep an eye out on. I'd probably still steer clear of the clear ones if you have a choice. But I have sold some clear ones. It's just that the color ones have moved a lot faster. So that wraps it up for today. My 9 sales from the weekend. If you haven't watched me before, I've been averaging 13, 14, 15. On a good week, I'll have more than that. I've had as many as 18, 19, 20. Just 9 today. And I'm not even shipping the cane today. Not even shipping the cane today. So I've got to wait for that check to clear. If you're still here, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you watching all the way to the end and hanging out with me. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us out. And leave me a comment and tell me what you think. What topics would you like to hear discussed? And do you want me to show you my numbers more? Maybe I should show you right now. This is how much my total sales were for my 9 items. And my approximate net profit before I have to pay income tax. Thanks again. I appreciate all of you being here. I hope that you're getting some kind of information that is beneficial to your reselling business, and let me know how I can help. And until next time, friends, happy picking.